So let's go ahead and have a seat. And just kind of take a moment to feel your way into nice, straight spine alignment. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a big exhale through your mouth. Just kind of settle into your skin for a moment. So we're aware of our external environment usually, and that's a good thing. But as we begin our yoga practice, we want to start becoming aware of our internal environment. So going from exteroception to interoception, and then that helps us with knowing where and how our body is in space, which is proprioception. So all of this perception is what we're working with today. So I want you to just really start noticing what's going on inside of you. Physically, so that's muscles and joints and how everything feels this morning. And also mentally, emotionally, energetically. So we just kind of notice our overall state. And we acknowledge what's really working great. And we also acknowledge what we might need to work on. And that way we can use that to set our intention for practice. So as you've kind of checked in with everything, set your personal intention this morning, whatever it is that you most need to receive from your practice. If you're clear about that, you'll get it. So palms come together in front of the heart. And we just kind of take a moment to be really clear and concise about our intention. You can't get what you want if you don't know what you want. So you have to be clear about it. And then take a deep inhale through the nose. And a big exhale through the mouth. Allow your hands to just rest down on your knees or thighs. And we're going to start with some nice, deep, slow ujjayi breathing. I want you to stay firmly established in your breath during your practice today. Listen to the sound that your nose breathing makes. Notice how even and fluid your breath sounds. It's not catching, you're not gasping, you're not exploding or puffing the breath out. That's the sound that we want throughout our entire practice today. So maintaining that beautiful ujjayi breath, let's just go ahead and come to standing at the front of the mat, finding Tadasana, mountain pose. You should feel yourself rooted to the ground and rooted in your breath. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart. And on your next inhale, reach your arms up, stretch up, 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 up. And as you exhale, bend your knees, fold forward, and hang in ragdoll. So first, we want to make sure always that our spine is lengthened. Neck is relaxed. Arms can just dangle onto the ground or in the air, or you can grab your elbows. You may hang here in stillness, or you can sway a little bit, whatever feels good to you. And then on your next inhale, come all the way back up. Reach the arms up and overhead, stretch up. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. We're going to do 3 sun breaths. And this is to kind of limber and loosen the spine, as well as start tapping into our hamstrings and back body a little bit. So inhale, reach the arms up. You're welcome to reach back if that feels good to you. Exhale, big circle with the arms as you fold forward. Try and brush the earth with your fingertips if you can. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up, stretch. Exhale, big circle with the arms as you fold forward, touch the earth. Big circle as you inhale and come back up. Exhale, palms in front of the heart. Last one, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way back up. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, reach up, stretch. As you exhale, fold all the way forward to your standing forward bend. And this time we're going to stay here for a moment. So just taking a couple of breaths and seeing how your hamstrings are doing today. It's kind of important since that's going to be one of our areas of emphasis. So play with in your forward bend. Tipping your pelvis forward a little more. There might be a slight bend in the knees, or they might be completely straight. It's up to you. As long as you're feeling this in the back of your thighs, you're in the right spot. And then let's go ahead and look up halfway and lengthen. You still should feel this in the back of the thighs, but the spine is straight. And then you exhale and fold forward. We're going to take a huge step back with our left foot. Come into your lunge for a moment. Good. And then drop your left knee down. Let's bring the arms up and overhead. Tilt the pelvis back. Let the hips sink forward. So we don't want to neglect the front of our hips. I want you to be very mindful of keeping your tailbone tucked under here as the hips move forward so that you do feel this on the front of your left hip. This is also a great place to tune back into your ujjayi breathing. And then bring your hands down on either side of your right foot. You're welcome to use a block here, by the way. And let's try and extend the right leg to flex the ankle and toes and pull the chest forward. So you know we're kind of trying to get into hamstrings today, right? So do your best to get your right leg straight, even if that means your hands are much farther back or even on blocks. That's all fine. You want to try and have the leg straight here since you're not loading it with your body weight. Take a couple more breaths. And then go ahead and bend your right knee again, but scooch it forward. So it's quite a bit farther forward. Bring your right hand inside your right foot, and then see if you can come onto your left forearm. So it's like an extended version of lizard. If you look over at your right lower leg, your shin, it's not perpendicular. It's actually at an angle. I want you with your right foot that far forward so that you're truly feeling this in your right hamstring. Take a couple more breaths. And then keep that right foot as far out as it is right now. Don't slide it back. Come back up onto your hands and just rock the hips back. Flex the right ankle and toes again. Second hamstring and calf stretch. Take a couple breaths. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and step back to plank position. Hold plank. So you want to feel your core engaged. We always want the core turned on. And then on your next exhale, just lower down however you like, but lower all the way down to the ground. I'd like for you to just do Sphinx this first time. So big toes are touching and the heels are dropping open. We want length in our spine. After this, you can do your vinyasas however you like, modified or full on with chaturanga push-ups, whatever makes you happy. But right now, we just want to lengthen. Take one more breath. And then on your next exhale, take your first downward facing dog. It's okay to take a moment and pedal the feet a little bit if you need to. Once you do, start pushing that tailbone up and back And I want you to start pressing the heels down. I want you to see if you can find sensation in your hamstrings. And then step your left foot forward. Just hold your lunge. And then we're going to drop the right knee down. Excuse me, bring the arms up and overhead. Tilt the pelvis back, sink your hips forward. So we want to make sure we're getting the front of the right hip. Tailbone is strongly tucked under. We're listening to our Ujjayi breathing. Hands come down on either side of that left foot, or blocks if you like. Extend your left leg all the way. Flex the ankle and toes. Pull your chest forward. So this is that first little dip into the left hamstring. And then we're going to bend the left knee again. And what I'd like you to do is scoot your left foot quite a bit forward. Remember, you want your foot farther forward than your left knee is. Left hand comes to the inside of the left foot, and we're going to try and come down onto the right forearm. You're also welcome to come onto a block, maybe the left forearm as well. But if you look over at your left leg, the lower leg is at an angle, right? So your foot is farther forward than your knee. Take a couple breaths here. You should be feeling this in your left hamstring. And then come back up without sliding that left foot back. Keep it where it is. Hands on either side of the left foot and extend your left leg. Again, so it's a little deeper now. That left foot is a little farther forward. Try and straighten your knee, lengthen your spine. You're feeling that hamstring. Take one more breath. And then you can just bend the knee and step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, reach up, stretch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. Step back with your right foot. If you can, hold your high lunge. Bring the arms up and overhead. Be really mindful of tilting the pelvis back and allowing the hips to sink. And then hands on either side of the left foot, gaze forward. You may or may not get the leg all the way straight in front, but that's what we're shooting for. Try and get your left leg to fully extend. Then try and poke your tailbone towards the ceiling as you pull your chest forward. So now we're getting a little deeper into that left hamstring. From here, you can just step straight back to plank position. Take the vinyasa of your choice, and that might even include chaturanga push-ups this morning if you're feeling it, or it might include modifying and taking a child's pose. You do what feels good to you, and we'll meet up in downward facing dog, really lengthening through the back side of the body. So just as always, palms are flat, shoulders are broad, but you're really reaching your tailbone as far back as possible and pressing the heels down because you want to feel this in your hamstrings. Big step forward with your right foot. If you can, you're just going to hold this high lunge. Bring the arms up and overhead. We tilt our pelvis back. We let the hips drop, trying to get into the front of that left hip. Hands come down on either side of the right foot, gaze forward for a flat back. Do your best to get your right leg straight. If it doesn't go all the way straight, it's okay. If you're feeling it in your right hamstring, it's perfect. That's what we're shooting for. And step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. You're going to step back with your left foot, spin the heel flat. Come up into your best version of a warrior one. So that means your hips are rotated forward. Trust me on that, it'll help. Right knee is bent. Your right knee should be tracking over your second toe. Left leg is nice and straight. Take a couple breaths here. Get really firmly established in being rooted and stable, and also rooted in your breath. Now we're going to straighten our right leg. Make sure the right hip is pulling back. Lengthen your torso over your right thigh. So your hands can come to your right shin, they can come to blocks, or they can come to the ground. We keep the left heel flat here. So this is Tadasana. It's an intense Western stretch is how that translates. Now I want you to play with the idea, and this is purely optional, if you can, of taking the hands off the ground and reaching back for your left thigh. Try and keep right leg straight. Try and keep spine straight. Now bring your left hand to your right shin, your right foot, but it can be on a block or it can be on the floor outside the foot. Lengthen the spine again and begin to rotate. Maybe take right hand up towards the ceiling, revolve triangle. Right hand's going to come down, step back to plank, take your vinyasa. As you get to your down dog, of course, you're really focusing on the tailbone pointing up and the heels pressing down. Take a big step forward with your left foot, spin your right heel flat. And we're going to find warrior one now on the left. So you want to do your best with this, trying to get those hips aligned so that they're squared off at the front of the mat. And then when you kind of find your alignment, you take a couple of breaths, getting firmly rooted through the feet and in your breath. And then we're going to straighten the left leg. Make sure those hips are squared off. Lengthen forward. Spine lengthens. Hands either come to the left shin or to blocks or to the left foot. And you just take a moment, Tadasana. You play with the idea, optional, of reaching back with both hands for your right thigh. And then you bring your right hand either to your left shin, your left foot to a block, or outside of the foot. Lengthen the spine again and play with the idea of taking your left hand towards the ceiling for revolve triangle. Left hand comes down. We step back to plank position and flow through a vinyasa. You know what to do in your down dog, right? Make sure you're really accessing the hamstrings here. And then we're going to take a big step forward with our right foot. Go ahead and drop down onto your left knee. And I want you to scoot your right foot as far forward as you can. If you do have a block or blocks, you might want to make sure they're within reach. Now, for me, I like actually getting my heel off the mat so that it has the potential to slide. You don't have to do that, but we're working into a split prep here. So if you're going to try and go a little deeper, you might want your right foot off the mat. But the idea is this. First, we're going to inhale and flex the foot back, toes curling towards the shin. As you exhale, keep your toes flexed, but push through the ball of the foot. It's kind of that high heel Barbie foot, right? Maybe slide the heel forward. Inhale, flex the toes back. Exhale, press through the ball of the foot. One more time, inhale, flex, and as you exhale, press through the ball of the right foot. Now take a breath, and you decide if you feel like you can, maybe use one or two blocks and have them by the hips so that you can get vertical instead of leaning over your right leg. If you feel like you have enough muscular control, you can take the arms up, but don't do that unless you feel safe with it. Take 2 more breaths wherever you're at. Bring both hands down inside your right leg, and you can just kind of swing that leg back, step into plank, take a vinyasa. So start noticing now that you're working a little more intensely in this down dog. You should be starting to feel the difference between the back of the right thigh and the back of the left. Big step forward with your left foot. Drop onto the right knee. Scoot your left heel as far forward as you can. Again, if you feel like you have the capacity for progress here, you can make sure your left heel is not on the mat. Once you hit your stretch point, we begin that breathing and pressing. So you're going to inhale, toes curl back towards the shin. Exhale, press through the ball of the foot. Maybe slide the heel forward, maybe not. Inhale, curl the toes back. Exhale, press the ball of the foot forward. One more time, inhale, curl those toes back. Exhale, press. And then either with a block or without, you want to try and get vertical. And if you feel like you can, those arms float up. Hands come down. You want to just take that left leg back to plank position, and we flow through a vinyasa. So from this downward facing dog, you can either walk or jump forward to a standing forward bend. And in your forward bend, I want you to really be conscious of poking your tailbone up towards the ceiling and relaxing the neck. I want you to bend your left knee only and push that right leg totally straight. Take a couple breaths. Now bend your right knee, push your left leg totally straight. Both legs straight, inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. All right, so we're gonna do a standing split now. I use that term loosely. Mine don't look like standing splits. They look more like a standing forward bend with one leg sticking out instead of up. But we're shooting for that. So I want you to have that image in your mind that it would be like a standing split. If you have exceptionally tight hamstrings, please feel free to use a block if you need to. But what we're basically going to do is have our hands in front of our right foot, but not very far. This is part of your balance challenge this morning. So what I'd like you to do is make your thumbs line up with the toes of your right foot. In other words, don't put your hands forward like a down dog. Your thumbs line up with the toes of your right foot. As much as possible, your right leg is straight. That depends on you. And then I want you to have a very straight left leg and start to bring it up towards the ceiling. Now, it's all dependent upon your balance, your hamstring, flexibility, etc. If you can, your right hand will grab your right heel and you're going to pull your forehead towards your right shin as you keep extending that left leg up, 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 up towards the ceiling. Bring your left foot back down. Take a moment and come up to standing. Make sure you're breathing. And remember, it can feel really different from one side to the other. So now we're going to go down and do the left leg. So again, please, and I know it's more challenging, but that's kind of the point, get your thumbs to line up with the toes of your left foot. Left leg is as straight as you can get it. Right leg begins to reach up, up, up towards the ceiling. If you're able, only if you're able, left hand grabs that left heel and you're actually pulling your shin towards, your head towards your left shin as you reach your right leg up, up, up towards the ceiling. Right foot comes down beside left foot. Take a big inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart and pause. Nice. So far, so good. Split prep, standing split. We have one final little bit of a split thing to do. So let's play with this. Inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. You can either walk or jump back to plank. Flow through your vinyasa. Stretch those hammies and your back in your down dog. Now we're going to take the right leg up in the air, bend the knee and roll the hip bone open for a moment. And then I want you to swing your right leg underneath you and come into pigeon. Left leg sliding back. You can take a couple breaths on your forearms. And then here's what I'd like you to do. Come up onto your hands. We'll go slow. Gently lean over onto your right glute so that you can extend your right leg and just kind of pop yourself back up. You can use your blocks or not. We're going to try and hit whatever our personal fullest expression of a split is this morning. And it may not be anything at all like a split, or it might be a lot like one. You choose. Take a couple breaths. Bring your hands down and you can just step straight back to downward facing dog and stretch. Take your left leg up in the air, bend the knee, roll your hip bone open, open, open. Swing the left leg underneath, come into pigeon, slide that right leg back, take a couple breaths on the forearms. And then same thing here, and of course you can use your blocks anytime you need them. But what I'd like you to do is keep that back leg straight, just kind of sit down over onto your left glute, extend your left leg fully, and then you're just gonna kind of roll back up. Find whatever your expression this morning of a split is, take a few breaths. And then we release and step straight back, downward facing dog. Pause for a moment and just really feel what you've accomplished so far in your practice. And then shift into plank and let's flow through one final vinyasa. Now, from this downward facing dog, I'm going to have you either walk or jump forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, come all the way up. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. Before we come to a seated position, we're going to do a tiny bit more balance. So I want you to stand on your right foot first. And we're going to fully extend the left leg. If you want to use a strap, you can, but there's no need because you can grab anywhere you need to. So the left leg fully extends. Maybe you grab behind the thigh. Maybe you grab behind the calf. Maybe you grab your left foot. But I want you to try and have your left leg really straight with the foot flexed. And bring the leg as high as you need to feel a hamstring stretch. And then just reconnect to your Ujjayi breathing. And release, left foot down. Same thing on the other side, remembering one side may feel different from the other. So you grab behind your right thigh maybe, or maybe you just grab your pants or your shorts, leg is straight. Maybe you work the hands down towards the foot. The leg is straight, the foot is flexed, and you're breathing. Release your right foot down. Stand with your feet at the edges of your mat, toes pointing forward. Keep your heels flat. Drop into a yogic squat for a couple of breaths. Remember, you can support your weight on your knees or thighs or blocks if you need to. Take a couple of breaths here. And then depending upon how close your buns are to the ground, if you're pretty close, just put them down and extend your legs. If you need to, use your hands. Find your way onto your mat into Tadasana. And then let's inhale and reach the arms up, 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 up. And as we exhale, extend out over both legs. Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend, heart pulling forward. Come on up from that. We'll take the left foot and bring it inside the right thigh. Lean out over your right leg. So we're going to be going into Tadasana, heron pose. Excuse me. And normally I just have you do it modified. If you have left knee issues, you're going to keep your left leg just like it is. Only if you feel like you want to work towards the full version of it, excuse me, you would bend your left knee so that your left foot, the top of the left foot, is flat on the mat right beside your left glute. If you looked back at your left lower leg, your second toe aligns with the shin bones. Now, if that doesn't work for your left knee, please don't do it. I just don't want to cheat anybody out of the opportunity to do the full shebang. Either way, we're going to have a straight right leg up in the air. So flex your ankle, flex your toes, straighten your right leg, and lift your chest. Now, you might be hanging onto your thigh or your calf like we did when we were standing balance. So don't feel like you have to grab the foot, but I would love for you to have a really straight spine and take a couple more breaths here. We're just going to let that right foot come back down. I want you to pick your left leg up and bring it across your right thigh with your left foot flat. And we're just going to go into a nice deep twist to the left. So left hand is behind you. You can either grab your left thigh with your right arm, or you can bring that right elbow outside the left thigh as you look over your left shoulder. Unwind yourself, extend both legs out. And then we bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh and we lean out over that left leg. Come up from that. Excuse me. So same thing here. Please keep your right leg as it is if your right knee is sensitive before we move into heron. If you want to go into the full version of it and you have a healthy right knee, then you bring your right foot back beside your right glute with the top of the foot flat, second toe aligned with lower leg bones. Purely optional. Either way, we're going to grab our left leg, have it straight up in the air. Flex the ankle and toes, lift the chest. And you want to just pull the leg towards you enough that you're feeling it in your left hamstring. And then we just put that left leg back down, pick the right leg up and bring it all the way across the left thigh with that right foot flat. And now we're twisting to the right. So your right hand is behind you. You're twisting to look over your right shoulder. You're either hugging the right knee with your left arm or your left elbow is outside that right knee or thigh. Go ahead and unwind, both legs extend. Wiggle the legs a little bit. Good. Now we're going to be moving onto our back and coming back up again. This is a little different, so just kind of be mindful of this. Here's what I'd like you to do. Both legs are straight in front of you. I want you to lean out over just your right leg, even though both legs are out. So whether you grab your right calf or your ankle or your right foot, take a moment and lean out over the right leg. Go as slow as you comfortably can with control, which might not happen. I want you to try and keep your right leg as straight as possible, grabbing whatever you've got right now. Keeping your left leg on the ground, I want you to take this right leg with you and come all the way onto your back, getting a really nice, reclined split. What? Yes, I snuck that one in on you. So if you keep both legs straight, and it may not look like a split, mine certainly doesn't, but the idea is that it's like doing a split lying on your back. Take a couple more breaths here. Now, you might need to let go of your right foot. I don't want anybody to tweak anything, but if you can, you're going to just sit back up with your right leg. You're right back where you started. Oh, a little core work. All right, both legs are extended in front of you. And if you needed to roll over and sit up, that's fine. With both legs extended, just lean out over your left leg. Wherever your hands are, thigh, calf, foot, keep them there. Try and control your descent. Take your left leg with you as you lie back, keeping the right leg extended out. And again, try and keep your left leg straight. And so it's kind of like a reclined split. And again, mine doesn't look like that, but that's okay. Feels like it, and that's what's important. Take one more breath here. And then I'm going to have you do that same sit-up motion. Come all the way back up. Nice job. Lengthen out over both legs. And then from here, you can roll onto your back, hug your knees in, and rock side to side. From here, we're going to be going into a true dead bug. So I want you to separate your knees. You want your knees wide. Your arms reach from the inside, please. Grab the arches of your feet, flex your feet, and then get your lower leg vertical. So your knees are wider than your shoulders. Your arms are inside your legs, holding the arches of the feet, and you're pulling straight down while you try and press your tailbone back into the mat. You should feel this in your hamstrings. Take a couple breaths. And then release and hug your knees, rock side to side. We're going to keep the left knee hugged in and extend the right leg all the way out onto the ground. Just keep your left knee hugged in for a moment. And then we're going to take this into a twist, but here's what I'd like you to do. Your right hand, I want you to grab behind your left knee or the back of the left thigh. Your left arm's going to open out. You're going to go ahead and twist over to the right. Keep your right hand behind your left knee or thigh. And see what it feels like to begin straightening your left leg. Now, if you let go so that your leg's way down there, you've lost the idea behind it. So even if your leg isn't straight, it's okay. I want you hanging on to the back of your left thigh with your right hand and your left foot flexed, and you're just trying to get that left leg straight. Come all the way back up on your next inhale, hugging your left knee in as you exhale. Bring your right knee up to meet it, rock side to side if you like. And then keep your right knee hugged in and extend your left leg all the way out. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing here. So just be mindful of your form. Left hand, if you can, grabs behind your right knee or behind the right thigh. Your right arm opens out to the right. Keep your right knee bent and just find your twist first. And then keep that left hand on the right thigh and begin to extend your right leg. So maybe it goes straight, maybe it doesn't, but you should feel it in your hamstring. So you want to try and keep hanging on to that right leg. Now you're welcome to transition your hand to your calf or your foot, but don't let the leg move back down towards the left foot. You want to keep it up. We're shooting for about a 90-degree angle with the legs. On your next inhale, come on back up, and as you exhale, hug your right knee into your chest. Bring your left knee up to meet it and rock side to side. You may do whatever inversion makes you happy this morning. We're going to do it for 6 slow breaths. My recommendation is Halasana, plow pose, with your legs all the way up and overhead with your legs straight if you can. But if your neck or shoulders prevent that, please do any other inversion that makes you happy. As long as your abdominal organs are higher than your heart, or your heart is higher than your head, or both, then you're good. So off you go. 6 slow, deep breaths, whatever you choose. As you finish out your 6 breaths, just find your way back onto your back. Feet flat on the mat with the ankles and knees together. Coming into that nice breath-centered hip roll. As you exhale, both knees drop to one side. The hips gently roll. As you inhale, the knees come back up. And as you exhale, they both drop in the opposite direction. The next time that your knees point up towards the ceiling, allow them to drop open with the soles of your feet touching now, coming into reclined bound angle. Take a deep breath in and flatten your low back by pressing the lumbar spine into the mat. In other words, you're tilting your pelvis back. Take a couple breaths here. On your next natural exhale, release. Begin to extend your legs. Separate your feet however much they want to separate. Make sure your glutes are relaxed. Wiggle the legs a little if you need to. Allow your hands to come down below your shoulders, preferably with your palms facing up towards the sky. Back of the neck is long, face is soft, your jaw is relaxed, your eyes are gently closed. Take a huge inhale through your nose. And as you exhale through your mouth with a sigh, let go of all muscular tension, let go of all control of the breath. So that beautiful Ujjayi breath that you've been doing throughout your practice, you're releasing that now. You're letting it all go. Just giving yourself over to complete surrender. Doing absolutely nothing but paying attention to your body and your breath in this moment. And just notice what it feels like to allow everything to become still and silent. Notice how that feels for you after all of the movement and all of the effort, how it feels to now allow that stillness and that surrender. For most of us, that feels pretty peaceful. So just rest in that peacefulness. Yes, you've achieved stretched out hamstrings and stronger, longer muscles. And yes, you've achieved all of these things in your practice, but the point of that achievement is this right here, this stillness, this silence, this complete peace. So just kind of bask in that for the next couple of minutes. And so just starting to feel back into your body. Beginning to move the fingers and toes a little bit. Beginning to deepen your breath a little bit. And as you're ready, just start breathing into your body. So those inhales that extend the fingers and toes, and soft side exhale and you relax. And then a deeper inhale, stretching, 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 and the soft sigh that relaxes your body again. You can either hug your knees into your chest or just bend your knees, whatever feels better for you. Slowly roll to your right side. Perhaps stay there for a moment. And then press yourself up into sitting. So as you come to sitting, you just want to kind of find that nice, straight, aligned spine, just like we did at the beginning of class. And it's really nice to take the opportunity here to just kind of check in. We always do it at the beginning of class, and when we do it at the end of class, we can tell if we've made any changes, right? Have we made any progress? Do your hips feel looser? Does your spine feel straighter? Is your breath easier? Is your mind calmer? You can check in with all those different areas and just see, did anything change or alter, or did it not? It's just about the observation of it. So as you kind of finish checking in, our breath work today is going to be a very solar breath. We're going to do a couple of bati breathing. We had a really big, beautiful, bright full moon Saturday night / Sunday morning, and it was still exceptionally bright this morning anyway. Very bright full moon, lots of lunar energy. So we balance that by bringing in more solar energy. And it's super appropriate for an early morning class like this, on a Monday morning, no less, to bring more energy in to kind of see us through the week. So Kapalabhati breathing is that forceful exhale followed by a passive inhale. You can go as slow as you need to if you're used to doing the breath. You kind of want to get up to a point where you're doing an inhale and an exhale per second. And this is all through the nose, by the way. Now, if you're feeling extra dedicated to creating solar energy and you're comfortable with Ujjayi breathing, this is purely optional. You can do Kapalabhati through the right nostril only by using your right hand to block the left nostril, and it just amps it up even that much more. So completely up to you, either through both nostrils or just through the right. We'll do one round of Kapalabhati breathing, and you want to make sure this is all through the nose. So let's take a deep inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the nose. Take another deep breath in. Breathe out half of your air and begin your Kapalabhati breath. Take a big inhale, big exhale through the mouth. Slowly bring your palms together in front of your heart. Pause for a moment. Notice if you feel a little more awake, a little more alert, maybe even warm. All of those are really good signs that you had successful Kapalabhati. Also, if your abdominal muscles feel a little fatigued or tired, also a good sign. And then let's just pause for a moment in gratitude. So gratitude for this beautiful day that we have. As the Buddhists say, 24 brand new hours spread out before me. Gratitude that you're alive right now, right here to experience this day. Gratitude for the breath that you're breathing. Take one more huge inhale through your nose. Exhale with a big sigh. Palms to the forehead, just a reminder to be present, to pay attention. Palms to the lips, reminding us to speak our truth and to also speak kindly. And palms to the heart. It's just a reminder to keep our hearts open. That way we can experience kindness and compassion and love. We can practice it, we can extend it to others, and we can extend it to ourselves. Thank you so much for getting up early to join me this morning. I appreciate each of you immensely. Namaste.